Hello and welcome to week 26 of our midweek devotional videos. Today we will be highlighting our COVID-19 task force, which has helped us make decisions about how and when to reopen our church for in-person worship. You will hear from two members of that committee, along with Dr. Sterling Boykin. You will also see a walkthrough of exactly what will happen for our first in-person service on Sunday, September 13th. In the end, you will hear a song by Ann Law, and we hope that you enjoy and feel encouraged and inspired from the hard work that this task force has put in so that we can re-congregate together.
Place family, I miss you all. In May, in response to the pandemic, our church leaders created a COVID-19 task force that I agreed to serve on. This task force is comprised of lay people in our church from different backgrounds. Since its inception, our task force has been meeting regularly to monitor the situation and plan our response to the pandemic and ultimately our pathway to resume in-person worship. There are three data points we have been monitoring closely: the downward trajectory of new cases, the percent of positive test results, and the rate of reproduction of COVID-19. The past few weeks, these numbers have begun to look favorable for Alabama. So it is with great pleasure that our committee is recommending a return to modified in-person worship on Sunday, September 13th. In an effort to try out our new policies and procedures and see what works and what doesn't, we will only be having one service that Sunday, limited to 20% capacity. If things go well, hopefully we can soon offer more services. Our COVID-19 task force will continue to meet regularly to assess the data and will continue to make recommendations to keep all of us as safe as possible. We welcome any questions or comments and look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.
Hi, Ashland Place. It's Richard True. I'm coming to you today as a member of the COVID-19 task force. We're comprised of a diverse group of members and staff members who have been meeting for the past several months to discuss how we deal with this COVID-19 situation safely, how we can return to church, and when we can return to in-person church. Obviously, we've been worshiping virtually for quite a while, and that's been actually really cool. But I think a lot of us are ready to see each other and worship in person, and we feel that we're ready to do that. Obviously, this Sunday will be our first in-person service. Now, we've taken a lot of time to examine and research what other people are doing, research the science. We've debated amongst the group, but we all feel confident that what we've put together as a plan really covers the major points for distancing, for worshiping in a way that's safe, that's being masked, and making sure that we have our traffic flow planned out properly, disinfecting procedures, all those things. The church has prepared some documents for you to examine. You can really get the details. But there'll be some people there on Sunday to help guide us through. We're going to take it slow and we're going to take it carefully, but God willing, we're going to have this first service and we're going to get through it, and it's going to be a wonderful experience. So we hope to see you soon, and God bless you.
Good afternoon, Ashland Place. It is good to be here in this space, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of you who have made your reservations to join us in worship on September the 13th, this coming Sunday. We have a 20% occupancy limit, and so the reservations are now closed. But fear not, there are still ways to worship with us. We will continue to offer our virtual worship services for the foreseeable future. So if you feel unsafe or not in a position to join us in worship here in the sanctuary or when we open up in the fellowship hall, you can always join us virtually through Facebook, YouTube, and our website. Thanks again to the task force, the people like Jill and Richard who have offered their expertise and their knowledge and skills and their experience to make a safer and a little more cautious opening for us as we grow back into some new normal as a church. They have met, as Jill and Richard have spoken about, they have met regularly since they were instituted earlier this summer. And they have come up with policies and procedures for this opening, and you will be led through those policies and procedures here in a few moments as we walk you through what it will look like and what it will be like to come back into worship. We will be honoring social distancing, so we'll be using every other pew. And the spacing will be spread out over these pews. We'll fill in from the front, so as you arrive, the earlier you arrive, the closer to the front you're going to be. And then as we exit, you will exit through the side doors, so we will not kind of trace back over ourselves to kind of limit the number of intersections that we have in our traffic flows. We'll be required to wear a mask as you enter. Actually, before you enter, and you'll be asked to wash your hands with Germ-X and hand sanitizer. You'll have your temperature checked, and then as we come in together, we will experience worship in a little different way. As we leave, that will be the time of offering as we exit the building, and we'll be exiting through these side doors towards Old Shell and towards Dolphin Street. Again, I just want to thank you for making your reservations. Each reservation period will begin on Sunday and will end on Wednesday of the week prior to the worship service. So our next one after the 13th will be the 20th. And so the reservation period for the 20th will begin on the 13th. And again, we will have a approximately 20% occupancy rate here in the sanctuary for these early openings. Thank you again for supporting Ashland Place with your prayers and your presence and your service and your witness. And we lift all of this up to God's glory.
When you arrive at Ashland Place on Sunday morning, you will want to enter on Wisteria Avenue through the front doors. They will be opened and there will be an usher waiting to greet you, to take your temperature, to give you some Germ-X, and to make sure your mask is on correctly and securely before you enter the sanctuary. When you do so, there will be someone who will guide and direct you to the exact pew which we would like you to sit. We will have every other row roped off, and we will sit people at least 6 feet apart on every other row. You will notice when you sit down there are bulletins conveniently on your pew to tell you the order of worship for that service. There will be no hymnals or bulletins in the pews to cut down on contact. When the service begins, Sterling or I will walk up to the pulpit or lectern, take off our mask, and speak safely into the plexiglass shield. When the service is over, one of us will direct you to come out of your pew, one person or family at a time. You will leave out one of the front 2 exits, and there will be an offering plate where you can leave your tithe or offering on your way out. We look forward to seeing you in person or virtually on Sunday morning. For now, let us be led in a song of praise by Annie Law.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Even when I'm afraid, I'm gonna let it shine. Even when I'm afraid, I'm gonna let it shine. Even when I'm afraid, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.